welcome to Honduran Art. In this occasion, we're going to talk about the famous painter Ricardo Guifarro. Ricardo Guifarro was born in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. He is 20 years old. He married and has two children. Their names are Andres Ricardo Guifarro and Julia Montserrat Guifarro. He is dedicated to the art, painting, and art survivor. In occasion, he likes draw cartoons. He lives with his mother and his stepfather too. They support a lot of things. He has 5 siblings. In his childhood, he had to sacrifice a lot, sold plants and nurses, and his mother sold candies for their education. Finally, Ricardo graduated of the school. His mother told him if he wants to study art, he will apply to the admission test and pass it. Ricardo and his mother went from high school and he couldn't enroll. Then Ricardo went to look for a painter's job and found it.
Good morning, we are located here in our renowned painter's house, Ricardo Joel. Good morning, mister. We are here to know about your painting. We could like to know how did it start?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you that I have a slogan. Art is my life, right? I started in this because a friend of mine told me, you have the spark. You should study art at Bellas Artes. So get into it, you can count with me. At the end, when I looked for my first painting lesson, he left me alone. He didn't support me too much.
Great. In this picture that you draw, what kind of technique you use?
In matter of fact, as today's Honduras actuality, art is not being valued right, either economically or by people. For example, if I show a painting to someone, the first thing he asks is, how much and why it's so expensive? So if people appreciate art, they shouldn't ask that. If they want to buy, just buy it and that's all. My favorite technique that I like it is the Impressionism and the Realism.
And what about your pictorial gingers?
I like it, as I said before, I like to work with Impressionism. The Impressionism is a non-limits technique where you can make blurs, mix different techniques, scenes, realism, impressionism, abstracts, right? Play with techniques, either with the supports. Some artists just like to paint on canvas. I don't. I paint on walls, canvases, houses, wood, iron, different kind of supports. I don't have limits.
Okay, and we could like to know how is your life as an artist?
My life as an artist is complicated because here we don't have full support. I survive only from my work. We find clients that don't support us at 100%. For example, they only ask and then they make faces and say, so expensive, it is cheapest in other place. That's another problem because some artists devalue their work and make us lose our work. I can't sell a paint work on a good price because of that. Sometimes we must work not for necessity but because you feel passion, and we are losing that passion.
Do our countries support you in any way?
It's a little complicated because I have visited some malls because I draw portraits and cartoons. I have visited some malls asking for opportunities and the first things that they say is, you have to pay daily 1600 lempiras for this space. That's too much because I don't know if the people is going to want a draw or not. Here is very difficult with the meeting.
So tell us about your painting experiences.
I have lots of experiences. My first experience was when I worked as a volunteer to HSBC. Working as a volunteer, we were making lots of paintings. Murals to be precise. In front of a school hospital there is a place called Crisanto. There is a sample of a painting made by us. Then We made another mural in Morazan Boulevard, near Los Almendros neighborhood. Those are paintings that we made as donations. That was something very beautiful to us. It was a pleasing experience because it made us felt satisfied by helping people in need.
And which artist influenced in your life, or rather in your career?
When I was studying at the Beauty Arts National School, I used to spend time sitting there on a bank. One day a teacher told me, "Stop being there, boy, get to draw," and he sent me to the library. I got angry and bit my lips, but I used to go. I began to read and read and read, and I achieved more knowledge. And one day I found an artist called Tulula Utre, an European artist who paints a lot of impressionism, landscape, and all that. I liked his work. I took some sections from Van Gogh's life, for example. This paint work is a landscape following Van Gogh's technique.
And tell us about your motivation. What does motivate you?
Nowadays, my biggest motivation is my son. I have a baby, and he's one of my biggest motivation. Watch my wife getting up in the morning is another motivation. See her worried for supplies some needs makes me do the same. That plays a very important role in my life. They are my pillars, so as my little girl too, Montserrat. She's another motivation to me, even when my wife doesn't believe me.
In conclusion with the interview, is there any motivation that you can give to our audience that is today acquiring all your biography? Is there something that you can comment to them?
I would like to say to the youth, stop being lazy. Try to learn a vocation or a professional career, because that is going to fit you. Nowadays we look how the youth is being lost. Based on these cultural values, we can express to them, encourage them to reach their goals. And what are those goals? A national or an international recognition.